The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Eliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert, and we are ready to bring you some feel good vibes this morning. Our feel good topic of the day is Jackie and I's foodie fine dining experience at Eliana's Restaurant. Our feel good vibe of the day is going to be a joke from Jackie, so you want to make sure you stick around to see if that joke is actually funny or not. Before we get into all of that, let's see who is tuned in with us and get ready for our feel good warm up of the day. Jack, I don't see any comments just yet, so I feel like people are getting ready for, in case you can't see, cut match, because the violence has been chosen since the teams were announced. And so as you're joining us, audience, we do want to start by finding out, what did you get into this weekend? Have you seen the cut match teams? What do you think of them? So Jack, we're going to start with you. We need to find out, what did you get into this weekend?
What did I do on Friday? Oh, Friday I had a games night, happy hour, and that was hilarious. A few of our friends, well, as you guys know, Regine was on Wednesday, and she was at the games night, and it was hilarious. The banter there is awesome. I came second, and sorry, guys. Lost at Jenga. Lost horribly. And then Saturday was a semi-chill day. But yesterday I went swimming at the beach, and the waves took me out. It's so good that we didn't record it, because I was like almost drowning. I'm like, God, I was talking to my cousin, and next thing you know, she's just like, Jack, and I'm like, what? And I turn around, whoosh, I'm like, but I'm here, so I survived.
You definitely did survive. So I see that Jamal is ready for your joke, Jack. He says he's not ready. So shout outs to Jamal for tuning in, and good morning to you, Anika Deshio. She is also for St. George's, so we definitely need to see what's going to be the total of St. George's fans versus Somerset fans for the rest of the week, because we do have a short week. So in case you didn't know, we are only doing our shows live Monday through Wednesday. We'll be taking Emancipation Day and Mary Prince Day off because it's Cut Match 2021. And even though there was a lot of drama around it, it is definitely here. So we are, I don't know if people are excited, they're not excited, but at the end of the day, I like a 4-day weekend. What about you, Jack?
Love it. I mean, I'm still gonna be working, to be honest.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I'm gonna
What
be
are you
off.
doing?
I mean, I'm gonna be off Thursday, Friday. I never work Thursday, Fridays.
Okay.
But Saturday and Sunday, I'm still gonna be teaching tennis and playing tennis half day. But then I'll be doing Bacchanal Run in the morning, and then I'll slip run. Saturday, you have the 3 a.m. and then you have, I think it's 5 p.m. So I'll be doing the first thing in the morning.
Okay, yeah. Well, so next week, Monday, we will see how Jackie fared doing Bacchanal Run first thing in the morning before anybody gets up.
I mean, I don't really sleep. That's the perfect time, because I wake up at like 2:30. I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. This is why I'm so excited for this episode, because all I want to do is eat. And yeah, I'll just like, okay, I guess I'll just walk out the door, go for a drive, and get powder and paint all over me.
So audience, as you are joining in, let us know in the comments what you got into this weekend. Jackie shared her adventures, things that she did over the weekend. Me, it was pretty, what did I do? I feel old. and I'm not that ill, but I always forget what I did over the weekend. I know that I was very productive because I posted on social media a lot of the things that I got done. And I actually was able to get all of the things on my to-do list done, which is actually a first for me. And I tried something different time.
Didn't you do yoga on Saturday?
I did do yoga in the library on Saturday. It was the I'm just gonna call it the Rasta yoga because I can't remember the exact title, but it was it was about Rastafarianism in Bermuda, or Rastafari in Bermuda. And so it was supposed to be at Asphalt Park, but because like literally, so all day, let's talk about Saturday. So all day, it's a beautiful day. The forecast said it was going to rain pretty much all day, and pretty much for the rest of the week, it's supposed to rain. So it's a beautiful day. I'm like, oh, this is great. It's not going to rain. 5 o'clock gets here, downpour.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. The humidity, like, you could feel the pressure. Though it was gorgeous, it was slightly overcast and super humid, so it was heavy. It was only a countdown. The countdown was on.
But the countdown should have gone at like 8 o'clock. It should have zeroed at 8 because there was no reason for it to dump, and then it like stopped. Like at 6 o'clock, which was the time of the event. Oh, not 6, excuse me, 7, which was the time of the event. It stopped raining. I was just like, disrespectful. So I see we have some comments coming in. Let's see. Good morning to you, Rochelle Sumner. Welcome. Let us know what you got into this weekend. And so Michael Anthony Martin wants to know, why isn't Terri doing walking around with Jackie?
Right. It's the same time you got up to do your run. You got up and put in your, what do you say? Did you put in your sweat?
My sweat debt. Yes, I pay that sweat debt every Tuesday. Yes.
Right. So I'm saying is you can do your sweat debt at 3 a.m. on Saturday with me.
But see, the run starts at 3. We're not getting up at 3 to start running at 4 or 5. We gotta be there at 3, correct?
What's an extra hour?
Listen, an extra hour is a lot. But so the reason why I don't do walking around, so for those of you that are wondering, like Michael, why I'm not doing it, it's really my hair. So I don't know how to wrap up my hair properly so that I don't get powder and paint in my hair. And so that I haven't mastered that yet, because I'm really keeping up my hair on my own at this point. So I haven't.
Use a thank you bag. Say, put it over your head, and then you tie it in the front, and then you put like either an old T-shirt or one of those
scarf or something,
whatever, and then you tie it over that as well. But you know what I forgot to talk about on Saturday? I had this huge family gathering for my Lambert Gilbert side, and it was supposed to be outside, and then we ended up being inside. It was supposed to be casual, and then it was like fine dining. My dad doesn't know how to do anything casual. We had a whole Christmas set up, and I walked upstairs, and I was just like, this is casual? Like, guys, I thought we were just chilling. Nope. We said our prayers. We sat down. Yeah. We might as well have had good stuff.
Casual. It starts at fine dining. Like everyone else's casual starts lower. He's like, no, we're starting here. This is where we're starting. The bar is up here. It only evolves after that. Good morning to you, Kathy Rogers. Thank you for joining us. Let us know in the comments what you got into over the weekend. Jackie had an eventful weekend. I feel like I did something else this weekend. What else did I do? I did go for my regular run, but I did it yesterday. So the intention was to go to the beach. I'm doing beach runs with my friends on Sundays. So we do like a mile, down horseshoe and back, and then we do like, strength and all that type of stuff. Ciao. That rain said is a no, but my friend said they were going to try to go to the gym. So I was like, okay, well, I'm still got to do my run, because I changed my run so that I could, use those miles that I run with them because I was doing 2 runs basically on the weekends, and that was too much. So I do my run, and literally as soon as I get back to my house after my run finishes, it started raining again. I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm not getting to the gym. Just forget it. I'm out. It's done. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm over it. I was over the rain this weekend.
The rain let me know about my body. And you can't sing.
You can't see. Oh no! Please stop.
I just realized who the artist is. I forgot who the artist was. I was just like, why did I? Nope, can't sing that.
Good morning to you, Sean Smith. Thank you for joining us. Let us know in the comments what y'all got into over the weekend. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we will be back to start talking about our feel-good topic of the day, which is a fine dining experience that we had at Eliana's restaurant, so you do not want to go anywhere.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Eliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert, and we are going to get into our feel-good topic of the day, which is Jackie and I's foodie/fine dining experience at Eliana's Restaurant. So we do have a video that we're going to start to play for you, which is going to show you the beginning part of our experience. And then Jackie and I are going to come back into the studio, and we're going to start to tell you all about this experience, because if there's one thing that I learned about Jackie is that she loves food.
Good evening, ma'am. Welcome to Eliana.
Good evening. Welcome to Eliana's, ladies. Oh, okay, it's on me. Okay, what would you like?
The same thing she's having.
All right, so what do you drink? Rum, vodka?
Everything.
You drink everything?
Everything.
And for you?
I do, I guess, whiskey and cognacs.
Whiskey? Okay, I'll be back.
Okay.
I'll sort something out for you later.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, Jack. So first things first, we have to talk about the fact that, so when Jackie and I first got there, I don't know if Jackie and I were being facetious, but we basically told the bartender to figure it out when it came to our drinks. And so, Jack, do you want to let the audience know what your signature drink ended up being?
So mine was a sidecar. It was Remy Martin. What was it?
The SOP.
Yes, the SOP, and it had orange and lemon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was citrusy, and it was amazing. I think he might have put a little bit of simple syrup in there as well, but it was so good. It had a kick to it. Oh my gosh, it was like 2-in-1 drinks. I took a sip, and I was just like, whoo! I only need one of these.
That part. And so I actually ended up having a whiskey sour, which was Johnny Walker Red Label. And it was funny because when he came back with our drinks, he explained what was in Jackie's drink to a T. And then he just left. And so I was like, well, what's in my drink? But I didn't say anything. I was like, well, maybe my drink's not that important. And then so he came back and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I told her, or he realized when he went back that, I told her it wasn't her drink, but then I didn't tell you it was in your drink. So I was like, yeah, because my drink is just as important. Don't leave my whiskey sour hanging. I don't know what else was in it. I think he said lemon juice was in mine.
Yes.
And it was just a cherry as well for, I guess, garnish. But other than that, it was really simple as far as the drink. But to Jackie's point as well, ciao. He told us too, he was like, don't judge your drink by like how much is in it, or just don't assume that just because there's a little bit of liquor or it looks like a little bit of drink in there that it's not going to have a kick, because it absolutely had a kick. And I was like, okay, so there's that. There is that. So that was Jackie and I's experience. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But as you can see, Jackie and I had some really great food. So Jack, let's tell the audience about the ambiance, because as the audience saw from the video, when we first got there, they basically said, we are here to serve you. And that's exactly what they did.
Honestly, we walk in, they obviously just sit there, not sit there, they don't sit there and wait, but they are so attentive that they constantly look out, because everything is reservations. So anytime it gets closed, they must come to the door just to make sure, because they open the door for you. They're waiting there to greet you, which is so amazing, friendly. And then they seat us. They make sure that we're situated, comfortable, everything. And then the bartender comes and asks us what we want. I love how on point they are. It's not like there was a long wait. You go to some restaurants, they sit you, and then like 10 minutes later they come up like, oh, hey, so what can I get you? I'm just like, a memory. Like, can you remember that we're here? Did you forget about us?
Did you forget me?
Yeah, like I came with a plan. Like, this is my first experience. I want to see what the bartender has up his sleeve, and just be creative. Like. So we had a quick conversation. I know some bartenders, they like to get the personality of the person that they're going to make a random drink for. So we had a conversation, and I think he read us really well, because that drink was on point. I didn't know exactly what I felt like drinking, but that was it. And then to sit down and we had McKinley come and give us
he was our maitre d'.
Yeah, he was our maitre d', and he gave us our menus, gave us time, asked us if we needed any help with any questions, just very attentive. And I loved that. And it wasn't overly, like, you know how some people, they're too attentive that it makes you feel like, oh, I'm taking too long, let me hurry up and figure this out and just choose anything.
Right.
No, it was very relaxing. And then they had the waterfall in the background. The music playlist was beautiful, not too loud, not too quiet. So it was enough that you can listen to it, but still have a conversation and not have to talk above it to talk to Terri or whoever you go with. And it's not too quiet where if there is that awkward silence that you can't really hear it. It was perfect.
Absolutely. So I just want to let the audience know, if you have any questions for Jacky and I about our experience, let us know in the comments and we will answer them. We are going to continue to share our experience. And so let's talk about the waterfall for a second, because we showed it in the clip. And one of the things that kind of, I guess, took me by surprise was the fact that the waterfall wasn't loud. And because I feel like sometimes when you get to some places, they have like those waterfalls, and you can tell, like, it's not that it's cheap. And so like you can hear, like, you know, and it's when the water's splashing down, or you can hear like some of the motors and stuff like that, but you honestly couldn't hear it. It was definitely quiet, but it definitely gave a certain peacefulness to the space, and it kind of made you feel at ease, and you definitely felt, and then it complemented the fact that McKinley and Demur, who was our bartender, that they were like, you know, they were there for you. And so you felt like, you know, kind of like when you're in the spa.
I was going to say that. I was like, it's like eating in the spa, but not in a gross way.
Yeah, it's like, because, you know, some spas do allow you to have food in some certain areas. And so it just felt relaxing. You felt at ease. And you felt, like Jacky said, that we could talk to each other and feel like, okay, as we're talking to each other, we know that what it is that we're saying to each other is being heard, is being understood. Or if we have questions, we can ask each other or say questions to each other. And then it also made, like, when they had a question for you or you had a question for the staff, that they could hear you. And sometimes when you go into certain places, like Jacky mentioned, the music's so loud that they're humming you, or they're like leaning in, and you're just like, see, this is why you should have your music turned on a little bit, because you can't hear what I'm saying. And now I'm upset because my food came back and it wasn't what I ordered. So let's start talking about the food, because we have a comment here from Taja Fox. She said the food looks wow. So Jack, let's talk about
so good.
Course. So we had 5 different courses. And so let's talk about the appetizers. Let's tell the audience what we got for our appetizers and let them know our thoughts on it. So what did you get, Jack?
I got the escargot. I'm a snail freak. And then I got the French onion soup. Now, I'm typically a French onion soup and escargot snob, and they got it right. I don't like a lot of bread. I don't like a lot of cheese. I don't like my onions overcooked. And it was the perfect cook to crunch ratio. It was the perfect melted cheese to bread ratio. And then the escargot, they had mushrooms underneath it as well. And sometimes some restaurants put way too much cheese, so you get more cheese than you do the snail, and it was just brilliant. And then they had the perfect toasty bread to dip into your garlic juices. And honestly, guys, like, I kept saying it. I wish they were open every day, because I would be there every day.
And so we'll actually let the audience know. So they are open Thursday through Sunday. So basically Thursday and then the weekend. Don't let that stop you, though. You do want to make sure that if you do want to go down there, that you book your reservations early, because they will obviously book out fast because the space is not super big. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. But I did want to talk about my appetizers, because if y'all watch the video, you're probably looking, because I was the one recording, as you can tell, right? So you can see from the video that on my plate there was calamari. And what was interesting was I was hoping that there would be a number, or at least one or two plant-based options, and there weren't. And that kind of made me sad. But I had already recently decided that if I got to a spot where they didn't have a plant-based option or plant-based options that I wanted to try or eat, I would dip into the seafood pond. So I did. And one of the things I will mention is that we ended up talking to the owner after we had our meal, and he did say that the chef can prepare plant-based options, but they would need to have notice in advance, which I have found that that's generally the consensus around the island, like if you do go to restaurants. And so that was good to know, because I do know that sometimes if you do check out a restaurant online, or you hear someone else's experience and you are someone that's plant-based or you don't eat dairy, that can deter you from going to that restaurant, because, you know, if you have certain dietary restrictions, then you won't go. So that was something that I did want to make sure that we mentioned, because I'm generally the plant-based person. I generally don't eat dairy or any meats. However, I had to for this particular occasion, because I was like, I'm not going to eat just a salad.
Right.
But I did have the calamari, and I did have a Caesar salad. So basically we just said scrap the plant-based and the non-meat eating for me, because that was definitely something that I was like, I gotta eat something. And so Tasha says, good to know. And yes, I think that's very important, because as people are trying different things, and, you know, people have allergies, and some people may not even have allergies, they just don't want to eat dairy for that day. It's good to know that. And so, but they did have other things. So let's talk about the other side of the menu that we didn't get to. Well, actually, no, I lied. Here's what we're going to do.
I was about to say, we took pictures.
We did take pictures. And so we are going to post that on social media. So if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you follow us. It's at Good Day Bermuda. We're also on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. Generally, that's probably where some of you are watching, as well as YouTube. So make sure you check out our Instagram page, because that's where we're going to post the video, and we'll also post some of the pictures throughout the next couple of weeks so that y'all can see what Jackie and I had. So let's talk about, so after we finished our appetizers, we ended up getting something that was supposed to clear our palate, which was a house salad. And I'm just not, maybe I'm just not used to fine dining experiences, because that was new to me. I was like, what is this salad? So like, you have experience, like, you know, your dad, and just going to like some of the tennis association conference and stuff like that. Like, is that normal?
Yeah, I just didn't expect it. I was just like, oh, all right, come on, little buddy, we gotta eat this.
My tummy was crazy.
Yeah, but that was good too. The balsamic dressing was, like, sometimes you get it's too salty, it's too sweet, it's too citrusy, whatever it is. But this was like, they just got it.
Mm-hmm. And then so about the clearing of the palate, because we cleared our palates twice. So we cleared our palate before our main, and then Jackie and I got our mains. And so by the time our mains came, it was definitely one of those, like, okay, we're gonna eat this food because we have to eat this food to, you know, get a sense of the food.
We had like, then the sorbet.
Oh no, I thought we had the sorbet before the dessert. We did.
I thought we had it before the
we had them both.
Dinner. I thought it was house salad, then we got hit with the sorbet, and
maybe
then
we did. Jack, I'm not a fine diner, so I was just like, oh, this is just nice.
No, we had the sorbet before the main, because I remember saying, I'm gonna have to get this main to go.
Yes, we did. So let's talk about that. So let us know in the comments if you've had a fine dining experience, and what that experience was like for you. We are talking about Eliana's restaurant, because that's where Jackie and I went. And so the clearing of the palate, like I said, was definitely new for me. However, it wasn't like too much, because I was thinking like, okay, you have your appetizer, you have your main, then you have your dessert. So if you have these two things that are supposed to be clearing your palate with, that will also kind of fill you up. But they weren't sizes where it was like an actual appetizer or like an actual something. It was just enough to clear your palate and move on to your main. Yeah. So let's talk about our mains, because we kind of got the similar meal. We both got pasta.
Mhm.
So, but what did you get, Jack?
The linguine pescatore.
Yes.
Basically seafood linguine. But I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it properly. But yes, it had mussels, clams, calamari, but not fried calamari.
Mhm.
And then it had, I think it was wahoo.
Possibly.
I'm trying to remember the list, but that was. I'm just retasting all these foods as I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, drill.
Drill emojis. That's what we need next. We need to get some drill emojis so we can put
Yes.
some reactions on the screen. So, talking about the food that you had, like as far as, because it's an Italian menu primarily, and so from your experience going to other places that have Italian food, how would you rate it? Like, what would you say? Like, would you go back for that particular dish, or would you go somewhere else for that particular dish?
So I usually
And
get
why?
that. So I decided to get that dish because I usually get it if I go to like Portofino. Portofino doesn't have everything that was in this particular dish, and it was styled slightly different. But I definitely prefer Eliana's over Portofino's. And I know somebody's gonna be like, "Yo, that's huge," because it's Portofino.
Mhm.
But I definitely prefer Eliana's. Like it was delicious. Maybe it's because of the style, the consistency of the sauce. They didn't make it too salty, too peppery. It was just exactly. Maybe it's just like perfect. It was made for my palate.
It was made for Jack. It was everything was made to order. Everything was made to order. Everything was our signature.
Man,
And
but I
so-
enjoyed it.
That's
I'm trying to
good.
remember what you got.
So I got the veggie lasagna,
Mm.
and
That looked so good.
it was really good. One thing I can say, because I don't eat dairy at all, it was a lot of dairy for me personally. But that is something that now, knowing that I can make a special request before I get there, I now know that I can request, like, if I am going to do something like that, maybe less cheese or something like that, because otherwise, best lasagna I've had in my life. I also never have tried too many other pasta dishes. When I go to Italian restaurants, I just get the same thing. I'm the type of person, like, if I go to a spot and I find food that I like, that's the only thing I'm getting from that spot. I'm not that adventurous when it comes to foods, because I've had experiences where if I don't like the food, I'm never getting it again.
Mm.
I know that, and then I'm gonna just write off everything on the menu. Like, I don't even care. Nope, it's all bad. It's all bad. So that was why I didn't. So that's why I've never had like lasagna at other places. I've had like other people cook lasagna for me, and home cooked lasagna is definitely different from restaurant lasagna. But I can definitely say that the portion size, had Jackie and I not gotten excited and got 2 appetizers, I feel like we would have been able to finish our mains at the restaurant. I feel like because we got the 2, and then we had the house salad, and then we had the the sorbet to clear our palate. We were halfway. We were like, it's not dessert time. It's not dessert time.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like the portion size was good, because that's another thing when you're ordering foods. You don't know if your portion size is going to be the right size. So then you're like, so you force yourself to get a dessert, or you don't get a dessert, or you wish you would have got 2 appetizers. So I can definitely say the portion size, I think, was really great. So Anika de Shields has a question. She says they don't have vegan cheese. I didn't specifically ask if they have vegan cheese. However, I do know that they can do plant-based options. So I reckon when we do have, I don't remember his first name, but I know his last name's Butterfield. We're going to have him on, Anthony. I was going to say Anthony, but I was like, let me not be incorrect. So when we have him on, we will definitely make sure that we ask, what are some of the alternatives that they have for those that do not eat dairy, or those that, prefer a specific meat. But they do. Let's talk about the other side of the menu before we move on, Jack. So Jack and I stuck to the pasta side, but they had a complete sheet of meats. Yeah. And so Jackie was actually torn. So Jackie, what were you torn between, like, on the other side of the menu? What were you going to get if you didn't get the linguine?
So I was going between there's 3 things. The rockfish, the salmon, or one of these steaks, because they had a whole page for different steaks, different cuts, different specials. And I didn't realize that they were known for their rockfish, their steaks, and then their lobsters. And honestly, I just wanted to try the Italian side because obviously it's an Italian restaurant or whatever, so I wanted to try what they're known for, pastas and stuff like that. And then I also had hit my red meat quota, so I couldn't try the steak. I was just like, once a month, if not, my system gets shot. Sensitive. I'm sensitive over here. But I definitely want to go back and try the rockfish. They had, I'm not a banana freak, but the way that they advertised it and described it on the menu, I think I'd actually enjoy it. I think it was like caramelized or something like that, but that sounds actually really yummy to me to match with rockfish. And then the baked salmon, that sounded brilliant. But I'm definitely going to go back next month, which is in a couple of days. So probably next week, Thursday, I'll be down there to try the steak. And then I want to go in with a bunch of people. And then I want to do like what my dad normally does and order for everybody so I can try everybody's plate.
See, Jacky, you're clearly the youngest. You're clearly the youngest in your family, because that is definitely a youngest sibling or youngest child thing. Because how are you going to do that? However, I do that too. I'm also the youngest. So I get it. I get it.
We're all going to enjoy it. We can all pick, and then
we can share the meal. We can absolutely share the meal. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back to wrap up our feel-good topic of the day. We're also going to start to wind down the episode, and Jacky has a feel-good vibe of the day for you, so you do not want to go anywhere.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Eliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert. We are talking about our fine dining experience at Eliana's Restaurant. If you're just joining us, make sure you give us a care reaction if you're watching on Facebook, because that's Jacky and I's favorites, or you can use your favorite. It's okay. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, and to all of our tweets over there on Twitter, make sure you run up those hearts. Now, before we went to commercial break, Jack, we had this comment for you from Anika DeShiel. She says, more veggies, Jacky. And so let's talk about that, because it looks like I definitely did more of the vegetables because I'm a plant-based eater. But Jacky just got the escargot, and then you got the pasta with the seafood. Mm-hmm. So it's like, Jack, where's the veggie?
I have my salad.
But that's like one, and that was to clear your palate. So we definitely need to get Jacky to include more veggies. And I actually didn't even realize. I mean, I don't, police people.
I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention to it either. I mean, I typically throughout the day will eat raw veggies. I like raw broccoli and carrots, and I kill a cucumber. I
think it's interesting because I think that's generally the Bermudian diet. It's a lot of everything else and no veggies. So the next time Jacky and I go down to Eliana's, because we actually have a plan, because when we were there, we found out that they do like special occasion events. So ladies' night, you can book them out, or you can bring your group of girlfriends to, be in the space. And they also do a birthday girl special. So if it is your birthday, you eat free, and your friends, they have to pay for their meal. However, because the Bermudian tradition is like, even if you do go out for a birthday person, that person's meal is usually covered anyway. So It's kind of like a nice treat, because Eliana's takes care of that person, and you can continue to just pay for yourself, which is great. Because especially if you're like budgeting as you should be, you can make sure that you're okay with that. So apparently, Michael Anthony Mustard's on your side. Jacky says tomato sauce is a vegetable. So I guess we can tick that off. Jacky was able to get some tomatoes in because she did have the red sauce with her linguine. So I guess that, look, he saved you, because I was with Anika. I was like, Jack, we have to do better. We have to do better. So before we move into our feel-good vibe of the day, Jack, I wanted to just talk about, because we had talked with the owner about the special events they do, and one thing he mentioned was around businesses come down for like their conferences, and I want to go back to the atmosphere and the ambiance of this space. So for you, could you see yourself having an event like, a ladies' night, a birthday event, or, if you had to do like something for one of the organizations that you're a part of, would you go down to Eliana's for that? And what would be the reason you would do that?
Oh, absolutely. So the first thing that came to my mind is my family usually does a celebrity classic. And we usually go to dinners with our committee. And that'll be our meetings most of the time. Because, who doesn't like to meet and eat? See, you see how it just goes together?
Eat and eat. That's the new hashtag.
And that's the perfect ambiance because remember, we're able to talk, we're able to hear everything. We can have our food. We don't have to worry about getting up to do anything, and it's just right there for you. But then also I was thinking like it's perfect to rent out for if you're having a small birthday get together with say 30 of your closest friends. It's the perfect amount of space. Mm-hmm. And then if by chance you do want to do, say, I think it'll be cute for like a poetry night or a spoken word event. It's very intimate.
Yeah. Maybe the after party for one of this, because the only reason I'm thinking that is like if they had to move the tables, there wouldn't be much space to like still do like the dinner part of it. And then the person that is probably speaking or whatever, unless the idea was to speak from your table kind of thing, then that would be dope.
Or everybody could be seated. And then the person can have obviously wireless mics are a thing now.
You're true.
So they can get up and they can walk around. They can entertain from table to table and then sit down back at their table with their guest. And then everybody else can flit around as well. I think that'll be the perfect ambiance for that as well. And the lighting is amazing. And, sometimes you go to places and all the noise bounces off the walls. But the acoustics is brilliant too.
And let's talk about the artwork because I see this comment from Taja Fox. She said, I've never been to Eliana's. We'll definitely have to check them out. And it's really a great spot. So the artwork that was on the wall, it is great because it totally goes with the flow of the room. And there was like some landscapes that looked like Bermuda. And so I was like sitting there for the entire time before we actually spoke to the owner. And I was like, is that Bermuda? And he was like, no, everyone thinks that. I was like, it looks like Bermuda. Like the colors and the artwork, it looked so Bermudian. And I think that speaks to like, the intention of the space. Like it's a local space. Like you're not meant to feel like you're overseas somewhere else, even though you are eating overseas Italian cuisine, you are still right here in Bermuda. And it's a really dope spot to go to. So if you haven't been like Taja, do make sure you go. And Michael Anthony Mustin has a question for us. 30 is a small gathering.
Because I just had a small family gathering the other day and it was 30 people.
I think that the space would fit them easily. We would have to, when we speak to the owner, we'll have to confirm like the capacity because Jacky and I weren't paying attention to no capacity there. We were just enjoying our meal, enjoying McKinley and Demur because they were giving us all the attention that we needed. So if you are just joining us or if you haven't already, do make sure you give us a reaction on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button on YouTube. And if you're on Twitter, make sure you run up those hearts. We do appreciate y'all tuning in with us this morning. But before we get out of here, we are going to get into a feel good vibe of the day from Jacky. Before we get into the feel good vibe, as a reminder, these reactions, you can use them to react to this feel good vibe and all feel good vibes actually. But we're reminding you that during the feel good vibe, we definitely want to see your reaction. So let us know in the comments, drop the emoji of your reaction to Jacky's feel good vibes. Without further ado, Jacky, take it away.
So I go to a restaurant and the waitress I order my food and the waitress comes back after I've had my food and she goes, how did you find your steak? And I was just like, it was next to the potatoes.
Wait.
You know how people usually say, how was your food? And you're like, oh, it was amazing. And she came and just like, how did you find your steak? And I was just like, it was just right there next to the potatoes, Amazing.
You know what? You know what?
One more.
He has two.
What do you call a sad strawberry?
What do you call a sad strawberry? I don't know.
A blueberry.
You know what? These are the best. So Anika says corny. Yes, we're very on brand over here. This is what we love to do. Mike Anthony Mustin says incredibly Jacky. Yep. And Sean Smith says, please stop. You know you love it. You know you love it. Anika, yep, blueberry. And Sean Smith says, no more, please. On that note, we hope today's Feel Good Vibe has you ready to have a good one today. Thank you for watching this episode of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. We trust we'll see you tomorrow for another Feel Good conversation. Same time, same place. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.